Hey, welcome back to No Hype Beer Reviews. Unless it's your first time, then welcome. Please consider subscribing. If you do, hit the notification bell, get all the updates. Really excited for today's video. So it's Thursday. On Thursdays, I sometimes do Thursday's Thirsty Thoughts, where I talk about a topic, and I'll talk about that more in a second, actually. So it just seemed appropriate. It's the first Thursday of the year. Let's project into 2025. I'll mostly be talking about the channel and things I have thoughts about for this coming year. Maybe a little bit about beer in general. As always, it's hard for me to do live streams too much. So these videos are just hopefully, interesting to you and you have thoughts, and then we can get conversations going in the comment section versus in a live stream with comments that way in real time. So as you can see from the title, I'm basically wanting to talk about 2025 and as it relates to beer in general, but mostly my channel. So I like the format that I've been doing. So I'll talk about like the perfect ideal situation and then reality, or how reality can be sometimes. Excuse me. So in a perfect world, I wouldn't be doing videos on Mondays. I do try to have one drink a day. That is true. Sometimes people push back on that. It's like, no, I really do try to only have one, beer or, cocktail or something, a whiskey on ice or whatever per day. Versus some people I know won't, maybe they'll go 3 or 4 days without drinking, then they'll have a few drinks each day, like on the weekend, like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday or something. It's just how I do, is typically one a day. So if I do not do a review on Mondays, that frees me up to either take a day off from drinking, or just drink something, a repeat beer or a cocktail that I'm not reviewing. Which is kind of nice. But sometimes I get a lot of beer like I have at the moment. So then it's just an easy day to be like, well, I'll do a Monday review. No big deal. It's not, again, ideal versus like reality, but this is still great. And then Tuesdays, I love doing Test My Palate Tuesday. It seems like I come up with plenty of stuff to do on those days, whether it's homebrew or just a style of beer they don't typically drink. I've done coffee reviews. Getting into more spirit reviews on those days. To me, it's always in service of the beer reviews, trying to, pick apart flavors of coffee. So that way, when I'm talking about coffee that's in a beer, if I can pick different notes out easier, or if a beer kind of, doesn't have coffee, but kind of has some coffee taste, if I can better articulate that. Same thing with spirits and barrel aging, all that stuff, right? So I really enjoy that. I seem to have no problem getting content for those videos. Definitely want to keep that going. Also just helps my palate, not even just like in a testing it way, where I'm just not drinking the same, like IPAs or barrel aged stouts and barley wines, so it kind of brings in some other styles that I really like, maybe revisit things, so that's definitely something I want to continue doing. Wednesday, whatever kind of review, there's nothing designated for those days. Thursday, again, ideally, I'm doing videos like this. It's another what I call calorie-free content day, where I don't have to drink anything, but I can still post a video. It's still related. These videos typically are pretty popular, given that the topic is popular, but overall they trend well. I like coming up with topics. I love topics that are suggestions. If they intrigue me, I write them down, and I do get to them when I get to them. But again, like Mondays, if I have a lot of beer, they're super easy to cut out. I don't mind cutting them out and doing a beer review those days. It's totally cool. Fridays, it's not official. I'll never make it official. But I love, having local beers, and it's nice having Fidens so close. So I do like the hashtag Fidens Fridays, but it's nothing I'm ever going to set in stone. It's just when I do go, I try to grab beers that I haven't reviewed before. And then I have, 3, 4, 5, 6 for, that lasts me a while. To post on the channel, and that's super rad. When I moved to the area, it was one of the things that was a little bit of a bummer, is I don't love a lot of the local breweries. They're typically, fine, sometimes to good. Some are getting better, which is rad. I would love to do more local in general. So doing the Fiden Fridays does kind of scratch that local itch. Not kind of, it totally scratches that local itch, and they're a really good brewery. Besides them, it's just artisanal up in the Saratoga area that really gets me excited locally, but that one's further away, so I don't get to it as often, and they release beer less often than Fidens does as well, so I don't see as much of their stuff on the channel, but man, they make good stuff. So yeah, Fridays are typically those, but it's not something I'm ever going to fully commit to, that they're only ever going to be Fidens videos. Saturday is perhaps my favorite thing to do all week, and it's a huge fan favorite for sure. People like seeing me drink stuff off the shelves. There's a lot of people who watch who also have aged beer, whether it's the same beer I'm reviewing or not. It allows for me to drink typically bigger beers, which I love. And it kind of makes this all more purposeful than just backdrop, but it is backdrop as well. So one of the things I've been trying to do is, and I've been very successful at this, is buying less to age. So I am trying to drink this down as much as possible. I'll gladly put other stuff up in the background that's beer related, but that's not just actually full containers of alcohol. So yeah, definitely a focus of mine for the last year or two has been drinking this down. I've made a pretty good dent. Some people have already commented, especially when I redid this part of the basement, put these shelves up and everything. People are like, "Oh, it seems like you have less beer." Yes, I do, for sure. Continuing that train of thought, I also like the Cellar Sundays. Those have been cool. It helps me drink down this stuff even faster. Sometimes people send me aged beer from their own cellars. Those are fun to do on Saturdays, so then maybe I can do like one of those and one of mine, so I still get to drink down this, but also get to try someone else's aged beer, which is always super fun. I had started, I'm going to continue on Sundays trying to do the bourbon counties. I had started with the 2023, I did 2022, and at that point other stuff was happening, so I didn't do the 2021 yet, but I do want to continue as often as I can, because those are a commitment, to start or to continue going from 2021 down to, I forget if I have 2012 still. I definitely have at least 2013. I don't remember if I have one more bottle of 2012, but just kind of going backwards, checking those out. I never even put them on these shelves. They're in a box over there off screen or off camera. So I definitely want to keep doing that as life allows. And just a quick thing again, if anyone has any older than 2012, I've never, let alone reviewed, I've never had one older than 2012. So if you're interested and you have one, let me know. That'd be awesome to be able to try one older than that. But I understand that that's very rare and hard, so it's all good if that does not happen. Another thing about the Cellar Saturday and Sunday is if I'm going to try to do both days, they'll probably be smaller bottles and try to have lower alcohol. So sometimes, like if I do one of these brewery beers, I'm probably going to drink half for my Cellar Saturday, cap it, and then the next day drink the rest. I've already filmed a video about capping and reopening and like looking at carb and taste and everything. So I don't plan on doing that. It would be more just in real life. It took me 2 days to drink it. So I would only post a video on Saturday and there'd be nothing Sunday. Not really changes, just maybe more of an explanation of how I've been trying to do things recently in the past year or two and how I kind of want to keep them going in the future. Also in terms of like the kinds of beer, I have really been enjoying drinking different styles that I don't drink as regularly. So I want to do that some more. Like I mentioned about local stuff, maybe circling back to some local breweries that didn't like really get me interested when I moved here 7 years ago. Because like breweries get better, like a lot of places, things get better. Some of the newer places I haven't even checked out yet, giving them a shot would be cool. So maybe try to do some more local, which I say a lot, and then life happens and I don't do it as often. But I would like to do that a little bit more if feasible. And then the last thing about this specifically is just what people said. It's just awesome. Like I'm just a huge dork. I have no super senses when it comes to smelling or tasting beer. I don't have like the biggest vocabulary to describe beers, but people like hearing my thoughts. It's really awesome. It's as awesome as it is humbling. And sometimes people are like, I like hearing his thoughts so much. I want to hear his thoughts about, these 4 beers, whatever. And they send them off. It's just super rad. So like, that's awesome. That also dictates some of the stuff I'm reviewing. Sometimes it's like a really nice variety of, breweries, styles, so like that's just always really cool. There's so many amazing beers out there. So it just lets me try a bunch of cool stuff. So I definitely love that and want to keep that going. And I guess I'll just end with, like variety. I just kind of want to make sure I'm doing a good variety and I'm not being boring to myself and my own palate, let alone the content you guys are seeing. Those are my thoughts about mostly, again, like I said, beginning of the video, my channel and coming up with 2025 stuff. But what do you want to see more of? What are your drinking habits? You're going to try to drink less, drink more, drink less beer, and start doing more whiskeys and bourbons and stuff. What are your thoughts in general about 2025 and things you're looking forward to? Maybe some beer releases or something. Anything, everything. Comment section below. Let's get a conversation going. Once you're done doing that, make sure you check me out on Instagram and Untapped. It's No Hype Beer Reviews at both those places. So please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, imbibe. Cheers, everyone.